Hello everyone, I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Hell's Paradise, the epic samurai ninja shonen manga where everyone is fighting for their dear life to find the elixir of eternal life. Before we begin, please like, comment, and share this video with other people who like manga and anime as well. So this manga follows Gambimaru, the deadliest ninja, and his executioner Yamada Asamon Segeri. And before I go further into the video, I will be most likely butchering these names, so please bear with me. So like I was saying, we follow Maru and the Yamada Asamon Segeri as they are sent to find the elixir of life on Shisenko Island, which is basically this island that the shogunate is assuming has the elixir of life, and the 5 teams that he has sent to that island come up basically with nothing. Every time he sends a team over there to investigate and find the elixir, they either never come back or they're presumably dead. So with these 10 bandits, including Gambimaru and their executioners, they are sent to the island to find the elixir, and their reward is, if they find the elixir, they provide the elixir to the shogunate, they're rewarded with their freedom, and if they fail, well, the island is gonna take care of basically their punishment. Now, the reason Bimaru, our main protagonist for the series, agrees to this mission is because he was basically outed by his village because he now wanted to have a peaceful life with his wife, who may or may not exist because strict training that he received while he was at the Iwagakure village. And we as a reader are uncertain whether this is part of the hallucinations or just the trauma from that training. But what we do know is that he is willing to find this elixir so he can be back with his homegirl, his wife. So like, so far for the first volume, that's our introduction to Gabimaru. Now for the executioner Giri, her task is basically to deliver his head if he fails the mission, but because she sees the adoration and love and hope that he has, that he is determined to find this elixir so he can be back with his wife, she decides that instead, why not, combine forces and try to survive on the island and find this elixir so they can go back home to see their loved ones. Now there are other characters throughout the story. You have 9 other bandits, and with every convict there is an accompanying Asemon executioner, and Sagiri is tasked with Gabimaru because he is the most deadliest, and this is part of her training, while more like her final initiation to continue the succession of the Asemon execution line. So really and truly, there's lots of stakes at hand here. There's the stake of the executioners, whether or not they're going to survive on this island, and whether or not our main protagonist, Gabimaru, is going to even make it to finding the elixir. Now, because Sagiri decides to, form a team with Gabimaru, the other executioners are hesitant with her decision, because the path of being an Asamon is making sure your clan is very strict and not very lenient when it comes to pardoning convicts. So for her to team up with him, it's kind of like a disgrace to the clan, but she is fully determined on finding the best way to get them off this island and hopefully be home with their loved ones. Now, this island is actually full of monsters, or what I could consider defective versions of humans. This island is actually a feeding ground for the true inhabitants of the island, the Tenzin. And the Tenzin are a group of immortals who have taken the elixir of life and are comprised of 8 individuals called Lord Tenzin. The reasons these individuals exist, or rather why Lord Tenzin, the supreme individual, exists, is because of this individual, Shufa, who wanted to combine his Tao, or his life source, and the Tao of flowers on the island, because he believed that the flowers in combination with human life source can create the elixir of life, and in doing so the other 8 individuals were created as a byproduct of that. That's kind of like a rundown on how they were created. Once you read the manga and really actually delve into the story, you get more details on how the whole creation of their existence came to be, which overall has some aspects of Chinese mythology and Japanese mythology and some other aspects of the Buddhist religion. So it's like it's a cool, intricate combination of those 3. Now, each of the Tenzins have their main Tao, or their most powerful aspect of themselves. For example, there is the attribute of wood Tao, water Tao, and fire Tao. And this is important because each Tenzin's weak point is the opposing attribute, so it could defeat them, which is one of the many ways of how the characters in this story try to survive on the island. The only way to truly defeat a Tenzin is by attacking their tendon or their heart with the opposing attribute Tao. So this is just one of the many ways the author has just created this whole world on how the powers, we can say, operate. Back onto the whole island as being a feeding ground. When Shufa was doing his experimentation on the elixir of life, his wife figured out that the Tan, or the life source of a human in this story, is one of the main ingredients to creating the elixir of life. Hence why when there were people trying to discover the elixir of life, no one was returning back, because they themselves became part of the elixir so that the Tenzin can continue being immortal. Caveats of taking the elixir of life is abrification, or basically the person will turn into wood. And there are some characters in the story where we see the effects of that and the consequences of taking the elixir of life. Like I mentioned before, there are lots of characters in the story. It's kind of like a battle royale. That's like, the editor commented that this was sort of like a battle royale manga where supernatural aspects are one of the main points on the character's growth and how they traverse through the island, which the shogunate considers Hell's Paradise, because once you're in, it's a living hell, but once you're out, you reap the beautiful aspect of it, which is the elixir of life. Overall, this manga was like a 10 out of 10 for me when I first picked it up. It was just random, and it was in Barnes & Noble, and I saw it and I was like, this looks pretty cool. I like the pretty colors. So really and truly, I did judge this book by its cover, by how it looked, but I do not regret it whatsoever. Like, the story was just so good. The illustrations, like, one of the main points that this manga checked off, in my opinion, of what makes a good horror or shonen manga series, is the action. Like, every panel in this manga, there was just something going on. It was never stagnant, because, you know, sometimes in some shonen it gets kind of boring and repetitive with the same action scenes, but the author just made it just so much creativity throughout the story. Like, I never got bored. The next one was the unforgettable characters. Once you really get into the story and you start learning about the backgrounds for each character, you just start rooting for everybody, even the Tenzin. Like, when I got to volume 10, I was like, damn, maybe the Tenzin do have a point, you know? Like, you truly get to understand the perspectives of all the characters and the reason why they're doing the things that they're doing and why they want to bring the elixir of life. And I just want to give a little, like, some key points on here. Like, yes, the main character is Gabimaru, but the author did a great job on having the focus spread out on all the characters, so it really did feel like we're all in this together if we want to survive. So I really like that. Again, the action, the fighting scenes, so dynamic. Like, I can't wait for this to be animated. The action is going to be on point. Manga has 13 volumes completed. I have some right back here. Overall, like, if you guys wanted to read something that's action-packed, plot-driven, actually interesting male and female characters, like, this one is one that you should pick up. You can read this online via Viz Media's website, or if you're like me, you like to collect your physical copies, you can order them online or in store. Biggest thing about this whole series is that it is finally getting an anime adaptation. I think in one of my previous videos earlier, like last year, I mentioned that I would love if this one and another series got an anime adaptation because there's just so much you can do with it. And I guess the anime lords or whoever decides what manga gets to be serialized into a TV series heard me, or whatever it may be. And now the series is going to be adapted as an anime by MAPPA. And unless you don't know who MAPPA is one of the biggest studios in Japan who has done series like Attack on Titan, to Kaisen, and the most recent anime, Chainsaw Man. So I'm super excited for when this anime comes out. It is reported to come out in spring of 2023. I'm looking forward to seeing once spring 2023 is here. You guys can check out the trailer on YouTube and I think on other websites as well. And comment down below whether you guys are going to binge read the series in anticipation for the anime, or if you're just going to just wait it out and be as spoiler free as you can and just wait for the anime to drop in the spring of 2023. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!